Greetings and welcome to the glorious, glorious English countryside. It may not be a nice, glorious sunny day, but we are in the English countryside, and that sort of spared me on to do this video today. I wasn't going to do this video, but you saw the title, you saw what the video is about. I recently saw this show, Clarkson's Farm. Have you seen it? I'm in the countryside at the moment, so I thought I'd talk about it. I never thought I'd be doing a video about Jeremy Clarkson, but here I am anyway. I've seen this show advertised. It's on its like third series now, isn't it? I've seen it advertised. I just generally thought, yeah, it's not really for me. It's just going to be a show about Jeremy Clarkson doing farming badly. And granted, there is a lot of that in there. But I put it on the other day. I just wanted something on while I was working from home. And I was actually pleasantly surprised by the show. I mean, basically, the show is just trying to highlight how difficult it is for UK farmers, how difficult it is in a post-Brexit world that we live in. Yes, he touches a lot on Brexit, not just the hit to trade, but also the EU subsidies that farmers used to get, all these types of things. But just how difficult it is for UK farmers now. Brexit aside, just the small margins that they're dealing with when they have to invest hundreds of thousands of pounds sometimes into seed and fertiliser on the hopes that they're going to get the right weather to be able to grow their crops. It's a real eye-opener. I really recommend the show. I know Clarkson, he's a bit of a divisive character, anyhow, Clarkson, but on this, he's really doing a good thing. He's really highlighting an issue. And one of the main story threads on the show is that he's trying to get a restaurant built on his farm. All the farms around him are suffering from the same problems. They're really struggling. They're really struggling to actually stay in the green and actually make money from farming. So his idea is to try and build a restaurant on the farm. He's got a bit of celebrity. He can bring quite a few people to the restaurant, and all the farms around nearby can supply goods. One farm does pigs, one farm does vegetables, one farm does cows, another chicken, and they can all come together and really help the other farms. Now, this is one of the the main things that must be so frustrating about farming, and so frustrating about this country in general. Is just the busybody nature of the general public. Now, one of the reasons that they can't get this restaurant going is because of rejections, planning permission rejections from councillors and local residents. Some of the rejections being it's a place of natural beauty and a converted farmhouse. Yes, a farmhouse will be an eyesore on a farm. Another one is the night sky. They don't want too much light at night that will take away the darkness of the night sky. Another rejection is the fact that his farm shop, one thing he has to change on his farm shop, has got metal girded roof, and in keeping with the natural area, it should be slates. I hate this shit. I hate this. This is ingrained in our culture in this country. Busybody nature of just sticking your nose into other people's business and just being annoying. Just generally annoying. I mean, farmers are facing, as Jeremy Clarkson is highlighting in this show, farmers are facing real problems. They have to diversify. They have to try and do something different. And this sort of local farming where you can sell local produce to local people and have a local restaurant that is plate to farm and only sells local produce, it takes away a lot of those problems that you get from greedy supermarkets that are trying to rob you blind, from the export problems that we have, and really try and help the local economy and help the local farmers and give people's jobs. But no, all goes to shit because of the problems of one person. That, I'm assuming this person, probably a retired landowner, her problems when she wakes up every day is opening the windows and seeing a farmhouse that has metal girded roof instead of slates. They're the sort of problems that she's dealing with every day. The sort of problems that the farmers are dealing with are the fact that, oh crap, I've got to spend another £2,000 on pig feed. Am I going to break even? Am I even going to make a profit from all this hard work that I'm putting in? They're the sort of problems that they're dealing with. But no, they can't help out the local economy. They can't bring jobs to loads of people and loads of farmers because of busybody residents that don't like looking out their window and seeing a metal girded roof. I hate this stuff. I hate it. And like I say, it's ingrained in this British culture, isn't it? Everyone's got that annoying neighbour, haven't they? My next door neighbour of a summer's evening enjoys one of those chimeneas, chucking a few logs on, bit of warmth when the sun goes down. One of the neighbours along the street complained to the council. Didn't come over and have a word and say, oh, by the way, some of that smoke's coming over my way. Didn't come over, have a word or anything like that. Just went straight to the council. I hate this stuff. I really do. I hate this. It's just, it's getting worse in our culture. I often talk about our interactions online and stuff, and also just our interactions in the real world. You know, most people actively avoid their neighbours or don't even know who their neighbours are. But I guarantee the majority of interactions that we have in life, whether it be online or in the real world, are negative. I'm going to prove you wrong on social media. Twitter is just one big platform for everyone to try and prove each other wrong, hate on each other. This is rife in society and in British culture. Workplace, when you talk to people about their jobs, I guarantee the number one issue that people have in the workplace is workplace politics. I hear this all the time. I had it when before I was self-employed. Everyone I speak to, the biggest issue generally that they have in the workplace is people sticking their noses in, bitching about other people, backstabbing people to get promotions. Why can't people just go to work, do their job and go home? And like I say, this stuff is really ingrained in the British culture. This backstabbing, slagging each other off, the self, only caring about this woman in the countryside is only caring about herself, doesn't care about what amazing things a farm restaurant could do to the local economy and bring jobs. All she cares about is herself, looking out the window and seeing that metal girded roof. And I mean, where did this start? Where did this come from? Like, a lot of people put this on Thatcher, don't they? The individualism, the 80s, you know. And what's quite ironic is you find a lot of people, especially people on the right side of politics, they're always sort of harking back to this great British time, don't they? This time where we had community, where people looked out for one another and we knew our neighbours, and we had a community, a culture. And ironically, they probably voted in Thatcher. That was the reason that got rid of all of that, and hates any slight sniff of socialism. And again, ironically, that time that maybe they're arcing back to is probably the 60s, 70s, when we had more socialist governments, like more socialist Labour governments, but even the Tory governments at that time were much more closer to a socialist. I think after we got Attlee and we got the NHS and we got council buildings, Labour and Conservative were much more socialist. You know, so it's quite ironic that we everyone's arcing back to those age of community and helping each other out, and it was the Tory government of Thatcher and, you know, Tony Blair afterwards that continued a lot of it, this individualism, this only caring about the self. And whenever we get a chance to vote in a government that might be slightly more socialist and maybe bring back those times, you know, if we actually cared about our citizens, if we cared about housing homeless, you know, if we cared about child poverty and getting rid of food banks and actually helping people, then maybe that might rub off on general society. We might care about each other more. Anyway, I did go on a little bit of a tangent there, apologies. I'll go back to the farming. But yeah, what Clarkson's really trying to highlight here is diversifying the farm. I truly do love this idea of local produce being built. Imagine if every sort of town had a decent sized local farm where they could buy their produce. And you know, I know we're living in a cost of living crisis, and I know most people have to go to Lidl. I do all my shopping in Lidl because it's what I can afford. But imagine if we lived in a society where people could afford to buy their produce locally, support local businesses. You know, I run a local business, my sister runs a local business, she's a local travel agent. I'm going to be doing a video with her soon, actually. I'm going to talk about local businesses. I run a second-hand furniture business. IKEA's coming to town soon. I'm not happy about this. Just cheap, bloody single-use furniture that breaks the minute you try and move it, when you've got local second-hand furniture dealers like me. But yeah, farming, if you haven't watched the show, I really recommend it. Like I say, I know Clarkson is a divisive character. I know he endlessly puts his column on the Sun newspaper, doesn't he, about damning electric cars all the time. And, you know, to be fair to the guy, there's a lot to damn electric cars for, really. I mean, I have an electric vehicle purely financially, really. The only reason I have an electric van is because it costs £200 a month to lease, and it cost me £1 a day to charge. Purely financially, I was spending far more with a diesel old Transit that needed a new clutch every bloody 6 months. Purely financial. But of course, electric vehicles are cleaner for our cities. You know, the air quality is so much better if we all had electric vehicles, and of course they have their positives, but they are negatives as well. I mean, this lithium farming's bloody dodgy as hell, isn't it? And the amount of parts that are transported across the world. Basically, anyone that thinks that electric cars are going to save global warming is not right. We need to just get away from cars in general. Better public transport. And this actually goes back to the bloody busybody nature of this country, when we get things like electric scooters, which are fantastic for these reasons. You know, people, the amount of single journeys that people take in their car that's unnecessary, and you've got availability of electric scooters and things like this, but there's so many laws and regulations. You're not allowed to use a scooter, and there's so many different things. It's frustrating. But anyway, off on a total tangent. If you haven't seen the show, I do recommend watching it. It's really, really, really interesting, and it is an eye-opener. If you enjoyed the video, click a like. If you haven't subscribed, you can subscribe up top. There'll be another video, you can check that out as well. Maybe you can let me know in the comments how we get rid of this disgusting culture that we have in this country. This busybody nature of getting in everyone's business, of slagging each other off constantly in the workplace and online, and just hating each other all the time. How do we sort this out? I mean, ironically, another thing that people moan about is immigration, isn't it? Oh, all this immigration into the country, they're going to dilute our great British culture, our incredible British culture. They're going to dilute it. Is British culture even really that great? When you look at what we do, we just slag each other off all the time, backstab each other for promotions, don't know who our neighbours are. Is it really that great? Maybe we need a bit of an injection of other cultures. Maybe we need that kick up the arse of people that actually enjoy communities and enjoy being friendly with one another. Anyway, I'm rambling. Till next time, take care. If you like the video, click a like. If you haven't subscribed, you can subscribe up top. There'll be another video. You can check that out as well.